I thought today we could discuss breaking in a bench shirt, and that's what I was doing on Saturday a couple days ago. And if you get a new bench shirt, so most of the time I'd recommend not buying a new bench shirt, getting one for free from a friend, or finding it used for significantly cheaper. But uh, if you get a new shirt, you'll get something with a tiny chest plate, and once that is broken in after several sessions, it might go from being this wide to being legitimately like an inch or 2 inches bigger. Uh, Now, when the entire thing is like 4 inches wide, adding 2 inches, that's a notable percentage change in the width. Uh, Now, how do you go about actually breaking in the shirt? Well, what I would do is try and find someone smaller than you first to try and get it to break in a little bit, and that is what I did. So I had a smaller female lifter, a 63. I think she's a 63. She wore it. She did a rep or two in it. Someone else wore it, and it did stretch out a little bit. When I first got it, it was getting stuck on like my wrist area, not even like up by the meat of the forearm, but down here. So they got it stretched out enough that it slid on actually quite easily. See, I've got minimal. I don't know how much you can see that, but very minimal gear bite here. Whereas up higher, it's more notable. I don't know how the lighting is. There you go. You can see it. There you go. Much more up here, whereas down here, nothing really. Uh, so they stretched it out to the point where I could actually get the thing on. Now, actually benching in it was was comical. It's a nightmare. On my first set, I was grabbing perhaps this wide, like just outside the smooth on the bar. On the second set, I could grab more like pinky on the ring, and then slowly and slowly, I managed to be able to get out to max legal. However, even when I was in max legal, I was running into the issue which I discussed in a prior video, which is that when I was grabbing the bar, I was being stuck in this super externally rotated position and unracking like this. So I was closed off instead of being unracking like this and being open. I was in this very closed off, terrible position, and even if I was trying to raw bench like that, I wouldn't. It would be an automatic dump on the way down. Uh, so when you're breaking in a shirt, I think there are a few things. One is that you should expect the session is going to be absolutely horrendous. It's going to be garbage. You're not going to really get any productive strength training out of it. You're going to end up doing a bunch of half reps. It's going to be painful. It's going to put your body in some strange positions. And if you're using an extremely aggressive shirt like I was, which is I was in a 38, uh, you might actually put yourself in some compromised positions, and like in terms of your shoulders will not be properly set, and it will be a bad kind of pain that'll come. I understand that, and I think when you're breaking in the shirt, you should go into it knowing that okay, this is going to be a poor session. Okay, the shirt will fit very differently after a few sessions. I've had shirts where on the first day of putting it on, I measured it and it stretched an inch during the session. And that shirt went from being something where I was loading whatever 250, 265 kilos to in reality, after several sessions, after it broken in, I was benching 215 to 235 to the chest. Uh, so the biggest thing to me when you're breaking in a shirt is staying calm, understanding that it's not going to be like this in reality after a few sessions, not being afraid to add more weight than you've handled. Uh, I was lucky enough that I could keep sliding it on and stretching it out with just 200 kilos, which isn't that heavy. I benched 205 or something in a 40 with modded sleeves in training 225. So 200 is not that extreme of a load. but I was really trying to focus on not letting the shirt bully me and instead forcing it to go lower and lower and stretch the chest plate, try and get the shirt to open up a little bit. Uh, Being able to do that with lighter loads is a little bit of a skill. So for most people, they would probably need a heavier weight, but understanding and staying calm despite how terrible it feels, despite not really being able to set your shoulders, just understanding that every single set that you do is going to be a little bit better. I went from gripping again this narrow to a little bit wider to max legal. Yeah, my shoulders were in a terrible position as I unracked, and I didn't get anywhere close to my chest, but every set got a little bit better. And I'll probably spend another session this coming Saturday still not modifying the sleeves, even though they went on very easily. No gear bite on this arm, but I mean, I don't know what you can see. Yeah, clearly it's tight further up on the arm. But to me, I'd rather keep it as loose as possible, spend another session trying to work my way down to the chest. If that means someone has to help me lock out the weights, they've got to take the weight as it comes towards lockout. But the looser sleeves allows me to actually get down to the chest, stretch out the chest plate. That's totally fine. And then maybe in another week, I'll bring the sleeves in a little bit and see how the shirt works with that. And then another week, maybe I'll do nothing. Maybe I'll take the sleeves in even more. I don't know. But it's understanding that it's a very slow, day by day, week by week process, and not becoming overwhelmed in the moment. When you put on a new shirt, it's going to feel terrible. You won't be able to grip the bar properly. The first one, if not two sessions, will be very awkward. So I would strongly recommend using a used shirt or having someone else spend a few weeks in that shirt to break it in for you. I thought that'd be helpful though, because the first few times I got a new shirt, it was very confusing, and I wish I had someone to tell me how exactly that process works. Anyway, hope that helps, and DM me if you have any questions.